Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Grumpy Old Gamers podcast. You can't teach an old gamer new tricks. I'm Ryan, and this wacky gentleman with me is Rob.
Hello, how you doing?
I didn't even get to see what you threw there because I'm busy focusing on the camera.
It was a little Cat5 cable. I was like, I haven't done anything wacky on the intro in a while. And seeing as it's episode Wayne Gretzky right now.
It is the magic number.
That's right.
I always wondered why they said 99 was the magic number back in elementary, because it turns into 100 after that, right? Like that's what I remember this in grade 2. Because Gretzky was big at the time, and they're like 99 is the magic number because it's right before 100. But I was always like, yeah, but like 9 turns into 10. Is that not as magical? Or
no,
I guess not.
No. Because 99, greatest hockey player of all time.
Greatest hockey player ever.
Next to Austin Matthews. That's a joke. None of us actually think that. That's
send your emails to makeusgrumpy@gmail.com if you'd like to.
We're just used to in Edmonton people constantly saying, "Oh, well, Austin Matthews is much better than Connor McDavid because he lives in Toronto." Yeah. Like, oh, well, that's flawless logic.
Yeah, the center of the universe. Why wouldn't he be better?
We have more Fords here than anyone. Not to get all political or anything, but hi.
Well, now do we how you doing? How you been?
Oh, doing all right. How about you?
Well, I don't know if you remember last episode 2 weeks ago. We did take a week off. We did take a week off in between there, and I was starting to feel a little sick at that time.
All right, yes,
and it did turn into a head cold. But it had all the symptoms that I did go get my brain tickled and was cleared. But man, oh man, that thing knocked me on my butt for a week.
Right.
And I can only think it's like, usually I get these little colds, like, where you get a scratchy throat and you take a bunch of vitamin C or, cold effects, whatever, and sleep it off. And the next day you're like, all right, I'm good. But, I haven't been exposed to anything in so long, like in almost 2 years, that the first, my body's like, what is happening?
Yeah. Your immune system's
code red.
Inflame all the things.
Yeah. So I was on holidays last week. That was one of the reasons we took the week off. But also there was no news. But I'm kind of glad we do stuff like this, because it always seems like we take a week off.
Yeah.
And then everything happens.
We got all sorts of news.
We got all sorts of news this week.
Including something I'm about to just Google because I didn't pull it up on my sheet.
Oh.
So this is where Ryan is going to carry the show for a little bit. Not that he already doesn't, but...
Well, with that, I will... how about we do a little housekeeping before we get into news?
Sounds good.
And I just wanted to mention, first off, that Buzzpro is giving us the opportunity to be an affiliate of theirs. And Buzzpro is the podcast provider that we use. That's where we upload our audio podcast to. And if you, there'll be a link in the notes. And if you follow that link and sign up for your own podcasting plan, they'll send you a $20 Amazon gift card. And even if you sign up for the lowest one, which I didn't bring up the pricing, of course, but I think with a $20 gift card, it would make up for almost 2 or 3 months of podcasting if you wanted to give it a try. And you know what, like investment wise, like this is one of the few things that you need to have if you want to have an audio podcast. But we have the website too, and like cost wise, it's it's the the only recurring cost that happens in making a podcast. I mean, we bought our mics, our microphones, and I mean, that was pretty much the only investment that I had to make. And it was like, I think this one was $80 Canadian, if I remember correctly. Maybe it was more. I'm not sure, but still. But let me tell you about Buzzpro. They make it so damn easy.
It's true. We can figure it out.
Yeah, well, if that's not the most glowing endorsement you can have, they make it so easy to get listed with all of the actual big names in podcasting. You can easily link to Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon. Man, oh man! But another thing they do is you actually get a little web page with them. That if you just wanted to, buy a domain and point it there, that would be your, you could say buy a web address and just point it right to your podcast. They make it really easy for that. We also use my cold's still a little lingering, so excuse me if I'm clearing my throat a lot more this episode. They also give you players that you can take the code and paste into a web page if you have one. So they make it they make it so darn easy.
They do. Yep, the embedding, we have it on our website. We have an embedded player that, again, Ryan and I, who share about half a brain together, we're able to get working, and it's they make it really easy. And the customer support's also fantastic because, again, we're both not really great at this, and yeah, it's been great. So can't recommend it enough.
Yeah. So if you want to take a dive into trying out podcasting, you know what? If you do, send us an email at makeusgrumpy@gmail.com. Tell us what sort of podcast you've made, and also, you get $20 Amazon gift card. And you know what? I'm pretty sure that'd be $20 American because they're out of the States, these guys. So
right, that's like $180.
So
Canadian.
if you're Canadian, yeah, that's like $100.
You can mortgage your house.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd mortgage your house. It's not something that a gift card will fix.
That sounds more like something a scammer would say. We're going to mortgage your house for iTunes gift cards.
They will never ask you to pay in iTunes gift cards.
No.
Not more than once.
So yes, if you're interested in giving Buzzpro a try, there will be a link in the notes everywhere that it's posted. In the audio, in all our video, on YouTube, Facebook. It'll be the first link after the show notes. So give her a try. All right. So as we were already riffing on, this is the 99th episode. Next one is 100. You ever think we make 100, Rob?
No.
I didn't either.
No. Right around 10, I was like, this is something we're actually doing.
Yeah.
I think right before the 100th, we should post the first episode again.
Yeah. So I just wanted to mention, we'll probably take an extra week in between, unless something really big happens, and maybe we'll do like a 99.5 episode. I've got a couple things planned. Rob doesn't know about them. But I just need a little more time to work on, and we'll try and make the 100th a little something special. Isn't that special? Isn't that special?
And I'm going to buy like 3 confetti poppers.
Awesome, because you'll be at your place.
That's exactly right. Cases in Alberta, they're pretty bad right now. So we're expecting lockdowns at some point here soon.
Yeah, with the current situation in our province.
So it'll be a 100th episode. On a Zoom call,
much like this one. Or maybe I'll just go sit out in Rob's front yard with my phone and just like you'll be able to see Rob in the background.
I'll be there with my boombox over my shoulders.
Yeah. So expect another week delay, not because of lack of news, but like I said, unless something really big happens, we'll do like a 99 and a half episode. But the 100th episode will be 2 weeks, maybe 3. Depends. I really want to get this done, and if I can't get it done in time, work and family and all that stuff.
That's right.
So
we've got some ideas for some live shows here we might do here too. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So all right. Well, with all that, how will we move on into news, Rob?
Let's move on in news.
So what's in video game? What is like in video games in 2021? What's one of the number one things you hear about?
Sexual harassment.
The number 2 thing you hear about.
Sorry, I know exactly where you were going. I just was having some fun with that. That would be delays.
Delays.
Delay all the things.
2 big games announced delays since our last episode. The first one being Battlefield 2042. This delay is manageable.
Right.
It's only a month delay. So I was gonna just see what you think. Like, do you think it's because Cyberpunk has finally taught these developers a lesson and they just really want to make sure their stuff is ready to go? Or do you think it's COVID causing havoc?
Boy.
Or a little A, little B.
Maybe a little A, little B. Like they have come out and said that getting their team back together in the studios has been kind of challenging. So maybe there is a little bit of that. It has to be something pretty serious because like they don't cancel or they don't delay Call of Duty's, Battlefields,
No.
Angry Goose Game. Like these games don't get delayed.
Yeah, they don't. And that's what I'm thinking. Like they must have found something. Though I just saw a post. Sorry, there's a fruit fly. I was telling you this. I don't know where it came from. There's no food in this room, but he's just buzzing me and flying them up front of him. He will die before the end of this episode. You'll be busy talking, all of a sudden, smack.
Black.
Everything will go black.
Audio.
Yeah.
Spiking through the roof.
But yeah, it's got to be something serious for them to do a month this close to launch. And sorry, what I was about to say is I just saw an email or a post saying that the betas are still going next week. Those haven't changed. So that's kind of good news.
Interesting.
So
like a multiplayer beta or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's another big game that is taking a little longer because this is supposed to come out in October. Dying Light 2 has been delayed to February. So this one seems like game just not quite ready. Like this one makes sense. I mean, Dying Light 2 has had quite the ride to get here. Like it's been in development hell for quite some time. Like I think it's been canceled and re-picked up, and it's been interesting. So those 2 delayed in 2021.
It's been a lot.
Pushing everything to the 2022s. All right, what else do I got here? Ooh, so new Captain America, Anthony Mackie, is going to be playing the main role in the new Twisted Metal series. Coming from PlayStation Television. PlayStation Productions.
So which character would he be playing?
He's going to be playing the role of John Doe.
Okay. I don't remember what car that guy drove.
I don't know. I've never played a Twisted Metal. But
really? Oh.
Yeah. So Twisted Metal is a high octane action comedy based on an original take by Deadpool scribes Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick about a motor-mouthed outsider offered a chance at a better life, but only if he can successfully deliver a mysterious package across a post-apocalyptic wasteland. So that'll be John Doe.
Okay.
Yeah. and they're going to encounter on this post-apocalyptic wasteland all the characters from Twisted
Right.
Metal.
So not really a Twisted Metal game, but a game in a post-apocalyptic world that is going to have the characters from it.
Pretty much.
Not a big competition for getting a wish from a... Okay. Interesting.
What was the actual games about? Like I never tried any of them.
Well, the idea was they'd had like 8 or 10 of these characters who had something in their lives they wanted to wish for, and usually it was something that you had a character who accidentally killed someone as a cop or let someone die, or another one who was trapped in his car, like Axel. If you see the guy who's like this T-pose and he's part of a car.
Oh, okay.
And so if they win this competition, they get a wish at the end of it from the main character here.
Oh, okay.
Usually with hilariously bad results. They were pretty, yeah, it was a pretty dark, twisted series, but
yeah,
the actual action was always really fun. But I guess the last one was black for the PS2, so that's been a while.
Yeah.
Was it PS2?
On that note, it's in early development from the developers of Destruction All Stars, which was a PlayStation exclusive.
Right.
Well, it says here they rebooted rebooted Twisted Metal on the PS3, just called Twisted Metal.
Okay, I did not know. And there's a pretty mediocre PlayStation Portable game too, but it's not great.
But I mean, it looks like they're just looking to coincide. They'll probably coincide the game with the TV series, right? Like that would be the the smart thing to do.
Absolutely.
You'd think.
Just be a shame the game will get delayed 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh.
What else do we got here?
I
didn't put a note here about it, but we've seen the first picture because it was Last of Us Day last weekend, which was the 18th or 19th, which is the day that the outbreak occurs in Last of Us the game. But during that event they shared a production still from the Last of Us TV series, which has been shooting here in Alberta. So,
wow,
yeah,
they did in Calgary, or
in and around Calgary, yeah.
Ooh.
But it didn't show much. It showed Ellie and I was going to call him Jack. Oh my goodness. Can you think of the main character's name?
No. You're the one who's big into the game.
Anyways, it just showed a picture from behind in like a crashed airplane in like a field.
Sure.
So it wasn't much, but it was a little something.
Main character
Joel,
there you go. Joel. All right, I won't look it up then.
Well, as we mentioned, something big did happen. And Nintendo had a new direct last Thursday, a 40-minute direct.
They did.
And they started the show by going, would you like to drink from the fire hose? And of course everybody was like, yay!
Yay! That's a UHF reference, folks. Excellent movie with Weird Al Yankovic.
Yep.
Just for our younger viewers.
Yeah. For them kids.
For damn kids.
So, I don't even know where to start. Like,
well, I got the Kotaku article up here that we're totally not plagiarizing.
Okay.
So yeah, I could start here. We got the big thing that actually caught me by surprise was some game footage from Bayonetta 3.
Right.
Which it's like, wow, right. That's a game that is still coming out.
It was announced during the Game Awards in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And like we're almost forgetting, like the Switch is 5 years old,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like this is one of the original games, along with a new Metroid Prime,
Mm-hmm.
like that was announced.
Yep.
But
And only one of them's coming out.
and only one of them's coming out.
Only one of them's coming out.
There's no specific date, just 2022.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw a trailer and some gameplay,
Yep.
and yeah, it looked like some sweet Bayonetta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was controlling some monster there and
Yeah,
showing a whole bunch of all sorts of cleavage from all the different parts you can show cleavage. Yeah, the next part in the arc, I don't know if we want to save that last part for last.
yeah. Let's save that for last.
Okay.
Next up, they showed more trailer and gameplay of Splatoon 3. And we got a subtitle too, because I don't think this was out there before, but it's Splatoon 3 Return of the Mammalians? Mammalians?
Sure. Mammals are returning.
Mammals are returning and things are getting hairy. Yeah, I can't wait for this. Like I love me some Splatoon, and it's gonna be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It looks a little wacky.
This next one I think is the one they actually opened the show with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a game coming from Square, right? Yeah, Square Enix, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Voice of Cards. The Isle Dragon Roars. And rawr.
Rawr.
And it it's a card based RPG coming from Square Enix. So, you know, they know a thing or two about our RPGing. And
that they do. Not so much about superhero games, but
yeah,
the RPGs they do pretty good.
They also talked about Disco Elysium, a critical darling and maybe not such a blockbuster game coming to the Switch. It's going to be the Final Cut version too, which is the one with all the tweaks and voice acting added to it. So
right, very cool.
I've had that loaded on my desktop here for about 8 months.
Right.
I want to click it and play it, and then I'm like, I want to play it straight through, and I always got so many games on the go, and I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet one day. And they also showed a trailer for another Square Enix game called Chocobo GP.
Yes, Mario Kart with Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah.
Check that off on the bingo card of 2021. It's probably be a great game too.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, not much to say about that. It's a game.
It looks like a game that wants to be Mario Kart really bad.
Oh, absolutely.
Like right down to them, like they don't have the blocks with question marks on them. They got like magic bags or something that you get items that you use in the racing with and, and everything. So so yeah. Also Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So you know, it's no secret I'm a Nintendo fanboy, but can you believe I've never really played a Kirby game?
Yep. I never have either, so
yeah. The only time I partook in one was I tried Kirby Robo Bobo Blaster or whatever it was on the 3DS.
Good old Kirby Robo Bobo Blaster. Classic.
It's and it was just the demo. I didn't even try the full game, and that's
right.
That's the furthest I've come with a Kirby game. So, but yeah, this one's the big deal. I guess it's like a 3D platformer. So
very nice.
Which I guess they are more traditionally side-scrolling.
Yep. So you bet. Played some Epic Yarn too. Epic Yarn was really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good game. It was during my Yoshi's Woolly World phase, and I was like, I need more yarn-based games.
Don't we all? Don't we
Oh,
all?
don't we all?
Oh, so the, I don't remember exactly what this was called, but uh before, but it wasn't like Project Triangle Strategy
Mhm.
demo something like.
Yeah, yeah.
So they finally settled on it being called Project Triangle Strategy, I think, because they gave us a March 4th, 2022 release
Mhm.
date. So I
Mhm.
think that's what this is actually going to be called. But
Wow.
someone from Square came on and like thanked everyone for all their input with the demo,
Right.
and they made all sorts of tweaks and fixes according to everyone's input.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm actually pretty stoked for this game. Like, I
Yeah.
think I had a lot of fun in the demo, even though it crashed on me
Quack,
after
quack, quack.
after in the middle of a big epic battle. But you know, it's a demo. It wasn't the it wasn't
Yeah.
the full game.
And it looks a lot like this.
Yeah,
A game that I put in ridiculous amounts of time and still never got close to beating.
is that a book?
That's Octopath Traveler. I got a strategy guide because
Oh,
I was like,
that
I'm
is
missing
a
out on so much.
good looking strategy
Oh,
guide.
it's actually really awesome. It's got all sorts of artwork and
Nice
things. But
hardcover.
yep, you bet.
But yeah, that whole artwork, that 2.5 what are they, the 2.5 HD or whatever they call it.
Yeah, and it's like they call them voxels or something like is
Yeah,
it voxels or yeah.
it's something like that. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's basically a 16-bit game, but done on a three-quarter perspective. And
Yeah. Lots of parallax effects. And it's actually it's actually really hard to run,
yeah,
which is funny
it
because it
is.
looks like it wouldn't be, but yeah, I remember my Switch. It was the first time I heard my Switch fan come on playing that game, and then it was just like gushing out the heat, and I'm like, oh, beautiful game. And
Yeah,
another Square Enix game because
yeah,
everything in this Nintendo Direct was Square Enix.
in some way, right?
Yeah.
Then we got another trailer showing more stuff for Metroid Dread. Um,
Right.
so there's been some there's been some reviews dropping this week already for
Hmm.
it, like some
Hmm.
pre-reviews, and people are saying it's a real deal.
It's very exciting.
Yeah. It comes out October 8th, and I probably won't be buying it right away. I just got too much else in my, because you know what? Also, it's going to be that same price for like 5 years. So I'm not
Yeah.
I'm knowing if I'm going to play it, if I'm going to be paying that price for it. So
Yeah. 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 It's should be a barn burner. I mean, people have been craving Metroid for
yeah.
forever.
Now, this would have been one of the stories actually that we would have done last week, like one of two that actually came
Hmm.
out, but it was kind of leaked in advance that there's going to be a Castlevania Advance collection,
Yeah, that's
and
interesting.
it was announced, and yeah, I played two of them on my Game Boy Advance, and they were
Hmm.
awesome.
Right, right.
They I think that's where they really embraced the whole Metroidvania
Hmm.
name of like just style, right? Like the
Hmm.
whole going back to levels with things you've unlocked. So uh yeah, I don't know if I'll pick that collection up unless it comes down on a crazy sale, and then I might
Sure.
dabble in them because
Hmm.
they were some long ass games.
I bet.
And I don't got time for that, Rob.
Just don't got time. Haven't got time for the pain.
So another like out of nowhere surprise, I'd heard nothing about this. I don't know if you had.
No,
Uh,
not at all.
uh Actraiser Renaissance. It's kind of an HD remaster of Actraiser for the SNES.
Yeah,
Um,
people were asking for this, I guess.
yeah, you know what, I rented this game quite a bit. I
Hmm.
really liked this game. I
Yeah.
did like all the because it's like a side-scrolling action,
Yep.
a little bit of like almost like city
It
building.
was Sim City meets platforming.
Yeah,
It was the weirdest combination. I've never seen anyone do it since.
Yeah,
Like not in a
no,
serious way, right? Like
no. But yeah, it was yeah, I like I said, I rented it a lot.
yeah,
And um I've already added it to my wish list. It actually came out for on everything.
sure.
Oh, no, I take that back. It did not come out on Xbox. It came
Or
out
or Stadia.
or surprise, surprise, surprise. It came out on Switch, Steam, PS4, and mobile. Oh.
Okay.
Huh?
Interesting.
So do you want to talk about the thing we skipped and then go to this next thing, or do you want to talk about the next thing and then go to the
Well,
last
let's
thing?
do next thing and then do the skip thing last.
Okay.
How about that?
So
'Cause I'm interested in your opinion on some of these things here.
um Mr. Nintendo himself, Miyamoto, uh, came out and asked if he could have a minute of our time. And when Miyamoto comes out and asks if he can have a minute of your time,
You give
there's
the
only
man some
there's
time.
only one correct answer to that. So he came out and said that he's been working on the Mario animated movie with the folks from Illumination Studios. And Illumination Studios are the people who make Despicable Me, The Minions,
Mhm.
What is it, Life of Dogs?
Sure.
Sing, like all these other. But the big surprise was um, that he announced who would be doing the voices, the celebrity people doing the voices for everybody.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
the internet's been up in arms because they announced that Chris Pratt is going to be Mario, the voice of Mario.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like we owe it to the fans to stop at this point and discuss this and then move on to the rest.
okay.
How does that make you feel?
Well, you know what? I I'm not gonna I'm not gonna um I'm not gonna poo-poo this yet. You know what? They had to put a trailer out for the Sonic movie before
Mhm.
people lost their minds with that half human, half
Yeah.
hedgehog hybrid
Yes.
thing
The abomination.
that they're gonna try and pass off as Sonic.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Pratt has had a little fun. He put out a, I think it was an Instagram video where he, like, to the fans, where he's like, he comes out and does like a horrible Mario impression, and he's like,
It's me.
it's a me, am I? Like, but he said he's actually been working really hard on it. So,
Sure.
I, there's going to be a weird line that they're going to have to ride where
Mhm.
it's where it's not offensive the voice he's doing,
Boy, yeah.
especially if it's an entire movie of it. um
Yeah.
it's going to be weird if they have Mario full on talking though, because that's never happened, right?
Yeah, I guess if you include the 80s cartoons TV series, you could
Oh,
kind of say, okay.
right. I've
I mean, that's a whole different time, but it's
Yeah, okay.
like the Super Nintendo Power Hour or whatever they called it there.
Oh, I kind of forgot about that
Yeah, I
with
mean,
all the
not often, but
mm-hmm,
um, boy, you got an Italian plumber.
mm-hmm.
Boy, could you have picked someone Italian and maybe just or would
Yeah,
people think that was offensive? And I mean, this is gonna be fanboyish. Why not Charles Martinetti? He's been doing it for
yeah,
30 freaking years. Like,
yeah.
could they really not have had him do it?
Well, my thinking is that Charles Martinet is not getting any younger.
Yeah, I
Also,
guess. I mean, Mark Hamill's still doing voiceovers and he's 70, right? So I mean,
this is true. This is true.
I don't know. It's like he comes out of the woodwork once every 5 years when there's a new Mario game and gets a paycheck and carries on,
Yeah,
right?
and just goes around signing people's
Yeah,
sealed copies of Nintendo stuff, of Mario
yeah,
stuff at video game conventions. So
yeah. I mean, I'm torn because I love Chris Pratt. The
yeah,
man's a genius, great
yeah.
guy. I'll give him the time of day to.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pass judgment, and also I will not be like, if it does turn out to be bad, to be like, ha, I told you so. No,
Yeah,
you know what, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt on this.
oh, absolutely.
Some of the other things announced, and Anya Taylor-Joy is going to be Peach. Um, she was in the hit Netflix series The Queen's Gambit.
Oh, okay.
That's where she's mainly from. Charlie Day is going to be Luigi.
Yeah, I like
Um,
that one.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a good character actor for that.
yeah. Also worked with Chris Pratt in the Lego movies.
Oh,
Yeah, he's the astronaut with the broken helmet.
oh, funny.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's Charlie Day. So
Oh, good pick.
Jack Black is going to be voicing Bowser. Cool.
Yeah, Jack Black can go a couple different ways, right?
Yeah.
Like if he plays it, sort of by the cuff, then it'll be good. I mean, Jack Black can act really well when he wants to, but if he goes full insanity, it might be a little over the top for Bowser. But
I mean, the one thing I will be kind of disappointed with is if they go with like Mario hits his head
mhm.
and then everyone has these new voices. Like he's like, in total Chris Pratt voice, he's like, I don't know what happened to me. I guess I hit my head and my voice changed,
Yeah, yeah.
um Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong.
Sure. I imagine they won't have a big part.
Keegan Michael Key is Toad.
Again, sure.
Yeah.
It's just gotta go. Ah!
And it's mentioned that Charles Martinet will be involved and will provide surprise cameos. So
That's good. At least he's finally. I mean, he's been training for this moment for 30 years, and it's like, and me, Mario? No,
yeah.
Mario.
You know what though? Also, like the guys at Illumination, I kind of got to give it to them. Like they make a lot of great stuff. Like they have it even more down pat than like Pixar, with like the mix of like adult and kid humor. Like,
Sure.
there's enough that I watch them and I still enjoy them because there's some good stuff to laugh at. Like
Sure.
is just going right over a kid's head. So yeah, that was a big deal that people are still talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about the biggest deal that was announced, Rob.
Yeah. The internet demands to know.
Did I scroll right by? I did.
I think you did, because I did too.
Okay. So
I don't know what I'm doing. The internet's hard, Ryan.
The internet's so hard.
Where the hell's the article?
So they made not a kind of surprise announcement. It's right. It's right below Bayonetta. Like right below it. It shows a picture of Link.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Breath of the Wild announced tomorrow. No.
Yeah. What? So they announced that M64 and Genesis would be joining the Switch Online.
Yeah. Now try telling an 80s kid back in the day that Genesis would be releasing a best of on a Nintendo product.
Yeah.
You'd be like, that's madness.
You would get your butt kicked.
Yeah.
All sorts of ways.
All sorts of ways.
Because Genesis is going to win the war. And
they do what Nintendo don't.
Yeah, Sega's going to win it. And it's going to be, Nintendo's going down in flames. Anyways.
One of these has blast processing. One of them doesn't.
So, yeah, so they announced that this is going to be added to the Switch Online.
Yeah. But not to the regular tier of Nintendo Switch Online. They're going to have a separate tier, which will include both of those. which they're going to announce the price of next month,
Yeah.
which was
Which is
peculiar.
Yeah, that's a little worrisome. Like, why wouldn't they just bring that out um unless it's going to be something a little bit atrocious. Like they're calling it, they even say like, um you'll be able to add this on to your current memberships or just renew. They said something like that in the
Mhm.
statement about it. But before we get into talking about that whole thing, which made me throw my water bottle across the room after I heard it,
Yep.
the first batch of games coming to the N64 are going to be Dr. Mario 64. You know what? I'm not going to say 64 after every game because
No, just assume that every
yeah,
game has 64 after it.
Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Mario Kart, Mario Tennis, Sin and Punishment, which may or may not have been not released in North America.
I
Sin
don't
and
think it
Punishment.
was. I think
Yeah,
the Wii version was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Star Fox 64. Oh, I said 64 again.
Ah,
Super Mario, Win Back, which I'm not familiar with.
it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Yoshi's Story. So those will be the first ones coming
Mhm.
out in October. And then, but they also showed some other stuff
Can
coming.
can I make one quick statement before you
Yeah,
carry on there?
absolutely.
So the conspiracy theorist in me,
Hmm.
you know how those three Super Mario 3D compilation for the Switch had a limited time purchase that
Hmm.
I hear that, and then I see that they're going to include it in this Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
I just start to think bad things, like they knew this was coming in. And wouldn't it be something if this version was better than the one on that came in the package? They're like, hey, you like camera controls? Here you go. Much better.
Yeah. They haven't been doing that. Well, no, they haven't been tweaking the games at all, like
No.
released in SNES and NES. So,
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
um, if anything, this will be a much more pure version than appeared in that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think there were a couple little tweaks, but nothing to shake a stick at.
Yeah, you get save states and rewind points and all that good stuff you get with the online, but it's
So
very
they
interesting.
they
Carry on.
also a huge one announced coming soon in the coming soon part, BanjoKazooie,
Yes.
which we never. I mean, they showed up in Smash.
Yep. When I saw that, I was like, okay, there could
Yeah,
be Microsoft's letting them come out to play. That's pretty awesome. We never
yeah,
thought we'd see that again.
no. Um, F-Zero X, not 64, but X. It's coming.
Right? Right?
Kirby 64. The Crystal Shards.
Yep.
The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
64.
64. Mario Golf, Paper Mario, and Pokemon Snap. So those are all the ones that were featured in this.
Mhm.
Now the Genesis ones all coming in October.
Yep.
Castlevania Bloodlines.
Which is a pretty awesome game. That was the
Yeah.
only way to play it for the longest time.
Contra Hard Corps. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
That's a great game.
Okay.
It's like Puyo Puyo, if you ever,
Oh, okay, okay.
but with Sonic, and it was very good. It was actually really well received. Maybe not commercially successful, but it's a very good game.
Okay. Echo the Dolphin. Gold Max. Gunstar Heroes. Musha.
Yeah.
Fantasy Star 4. Puyo Puyo.
Puyo Puyo, which is funny to have that and
And
Bean
then
Machine, but okay.
Rise Star.
He was, yeah, that's a weird platformer.
Shining Force. Shinobi 3 Return of the Ninja Master.
Yes. Yeah.
Sonic 2. Streets of Rage 2.
Mm-hmm.
and Strider.
That's not a bad launch.
No,
I mean, most of those are available on the Classic Mini if you have one already, but as far as if you don't,
yeah. So I did a little homework, Rob, about
did you?
this whole thing because this is the only thing that got my blood boiling about this whole thing. So they announced it's going to be a plus, right?
Yep.
So right now, if you pay month by month, it's $4.99 a month, which is kind of atrocious.
Yeah. Yeah. It gets
But
a lot cheaper if you pay for a full year.
yeah, 3 months is $9.99,
Mhm.
and 12 months is $24.99.
Right.
So like more than half price to pay for a full year.
Mhm.
So the NES, I kind of forgot that the NES came out, and then a year later the SNES came out.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, so on September 19th, 2018, the NES was added to the Switch Online. They launched with 19 titles,
Mhm.
and now they have a grand total of 62, not including they do the special remix ones
Yeah. Yeah.
where they remix one games that are on the, they give you like let you go right to the end level or give you
Yeah.
infinite
Get that.
lives or
Mhm.
just, and those things are pretty cool. So 62 titles in 3 years
Mhm.
out of the entire NES library
Yeah.
is all they've released.
Mhm.
I thought it was random, but it actually, they have a weird release cycle because it's September,
Mhm.
December, February, May, and July have been the months that they release. Like
Okay.
they haven't been doing them monthly. They said that right off the bat they weren't going to
Mhm.
do that,
Yeah.
which was, you know, um, and then a year later on September 5th, 2019, the SNES was launched, and that launched with 19 titles as well,
Okay.
and now has a grand total of 53 titles. Again, like in in 2 years, that's
Mhm.
that's all they've released is 53 titles.
Yep. Yep.
Like I'm pretty sure they had a much, well, they had a much more expansive library when it was
Mhm.
the virtual console, and you could
Right.
pick and choose what you actually wanted.
Yeah.
The stuff in the past couple months, the past two releases for the SNES and NES
Mhm.
have been like these bottom of the barrel, to me, games, like
Mhm.
games I never even heard of,
Yep.
and um games like I know I tried and they were not good.
Mhm.
I mean, they have released some bangers, I will give them that, but
Mhm.
um and this is a good thing when it was an added value to the Switch Online.
Mhm.
uh but man, like, so how much do you think they'll boost, like?
Okay. I'm gonna do the three. You had the three tiers there.
Yeah.
Monthly goes to $7.99.
Ooh, so $3 more.
Yep.
Okay.
You said $12.99 for 3 months.
$9.99.
$9.99.
Yeah.
I'll say it goes to $11.99.
Okay.
So I'm say as you go down, it gets a little bit cheaper, and then year would be 30. How about that?
And even 30.
Yeah, or
Okay.
29.99.
$29.99.
Yeah. Do I think it's possible they'll go higher than that? Absolutely. It's Nintendo. They love
Yeah.
your money.
Yeah. And people pay it regardless.
Yeah.
Um,
What do you think? What's your call for this?
Very similar.
Yeah.
Like I would say like $6.99 monthly. Um, Probably $11.99 for 3 months.
Hmm.
And then I'm gonna go, yeah, with an even 30, maybe 35.
Hmm.
Because you just know Nintendo's looking
Hmm.
at Xbox and
Hmm.
PlayStation. They're like, they get 75, $80 a year for a yearly
Yeah.
membership from me. But you know what? Those memberships at least,
Yes.
they both like give modern games
Yep.
monthly,
Hmm.
They also offer you extra discounts
Mm-hmm.
on games if you're subscribed.
Excuse me.
And you know, the only value you get from the Nintendo Online is to play games online,
Mm-hmm.
which, if I'm not mistaken, Xbox and PlayStation have moved away from.
Yep.
Right? Like you don't need these memberships to play online anymore.
Yep.
And then you get the NES and SNES online.
Yep. Yep.
As
Yep.
the
Yep.
So there's literally like there's not a lot of value. Like $24.99 was okay to pay. Like fine, okay, I'll pay $2 a month to be able to play stuff online. And then I get the bonus of NES and SNES games.
Right. Right. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
So the only way that I'll be like actually impressed with this plus is that they start releasing games more regularly
Sure.
and just keep adding stuff. Because I mean they've been buzzing about Game Boy Online for years now. Like
Yep.
People were saying like next in chronological order, that's where it kind of should have went. Is it should have went to Game Boy Color, maybe even Advance, and then to the N64.
Yep.
But so, anyways, we talked a lot about that. It probably some of the biggest news. That was probably the biggest thing.
Absolutely.
Oh, you know what? There were a couple other things I made note of. They had trailers, which are things that drive me bananas. They had a trailer for a new Animal Crossing Direct coming in October.
Right. It's
And
like,
then,
hey, we're gonna have a trailer coming soon.
Yeah.
Here's a trailer to psych you up for it.
And then they had a trailer for the Final Fighter coming to Smash. Also coming in October.
Gex the Lizard. I call it here.
Gex the Lizard. All right. Two other things that were not mentioned in that list that we were looking at that I opened up in another one here. They announced Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which is an expansion to Monster Hunter Rise.
Okay.
Or DLC or whatever. And they also announced that the original Knights of the Old Republic is coming to the Switch. Yeah. Not the fancy remake, but the original. It's coming.
Yeah. You remember that game you played back in 20... Want to play it exactly the same as it was back then, but pay again for it?
I'd actually be fine doing that because I never played it back then either.
Right.
But still, the idea of it.
Ooh, gotcha.
Oh, something. They did announce the date too, as well, for the Super Mario movie, which is next, not this coming Christmas, but the one after.
Right.
December 21st, 2022. So, anything? Any other impressions or anything from that Direct? I mean,
it was cool. They had lots of announcements. The Nintendo 64 thing is great. You can get a Nintendo 64 Switch controller.
Oh, right.
If you're a masochist and you really wanted to play with your C button or play Mario Party where you're going like this, get it burning a hole in your hand.
This guy right here.
You can do that.
Yeah.
And they announced the Sega Genesis controller for $50.
And so both of these will have like Switch enhancements on them. They'll have like the home button and the picture take button and plus minuses if they can't be mapped in any other way. I already saw the picture of the N64 and it's actually got it on the top of it. Like if you're holding the controller, it's on the top, those buttons.
Right.
So
kids who didn't have a chance to play with one can now experience an N64 controller.
So that Direct also coincided with Nintendo's birthday,
It
right?
did. 132nd birthday.
132nd. And it also coincided with someone else's birthday.
It might have. My 132nd birthday.
Yeah. So they have a few years on you, but not by many.
Not by many, no. Nope.
So yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I forgot about those controllers.
Yeah. Can't imagine why.
Yes. All right. Well, THQ Nordic
Yeah.
had got in on the whole direct thing, and they did one for their 10th anniversary, which is this year. And they announced a few games.
Right.
I'm not familiar with a lot of these,
Yeah.
which is kind of the the THQ Nordic story where you're like,
yep. All right, they do that game.
Yeah. One of the big ones announced though is they're I imagine with the popularity of Destroyal Humans 1 being so popular, the remaster of that, they're doing a remaster of part 2.
Makes sense. It's called Reprobed, right?
Reprobed, yes.
Because aliens.
They announced a new SpongeBob Squarepants game from the studio that brought out the remaster of Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
They announced Outcast II, which, from what I've heard, was originally the first one was out in '99.
Yeah, I do remember trailers and yeah, I do remember that game back in the day. He's Space Marine Cutter Slade, which is a very 90s.
Yeah,
name.
Absolutely. What else did they announce here? Oh, MX versus ATV Legends.
Yeah, that's a series.
When I see that game, I don't think of it like as coming from a decent studio. That just seems like just like a shovelware game. But
yeah, there's about 19 of them for PSP, and I've got all of them. I think I paid $1 for each of them at some point, just because. Yeah, they're games.
Okay. They also announced Jagged Alliance 3.
Yep, that's another one I remember. In my computer magazines, I'd see the art. There'd be this really toned action woman holding a gun like this, and
Oh, it's another game from '99.
yeah,
Holy crap. But the studio that does Tropico and Surviving Mars is looking after that one and publishing it under THQ.
Very nice.
And here's a little newer one, a follow-up to the 2004 Superpower 2, Superpower 3 was announced. Man,
this is a game I do not remember.
But man, they were digging into the archives for these, hey?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow. So yeah, they had their, I'm like, I like some good strategy games, so always willing to try them.
Yeah. It wasn't quite as good as Nintendo's, but it was something. They know they're still around now. That's important.
All right. Well, that's all I got for that. I've never even played Destroyal Humans 1, so it looks like a game I would enjoy.
It does.
But yeah. Next up, there was a little bit of news about the new Perfect Dark game. So the big news initially was this new super studio called The Initiative was going to be developing it, and it's a studio of like top people who've left other studios and they formed their own studio.
Yeah, it's like a super band of programmers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now they announced that they're going to be partnering with Crystal Dynamics. the makers of one of the makers of Avengers, Marvel's Avengers.
Yes, well, they've made other games.
They've made other games.
They made about 30% of the games for 3DO.
Mm,
They had like
yeah.
yeah.
I guess they
Including
look
Gex, Sun,
and Tomb Raiders
Ties of Round. I
and
think I
Tomb
made
Raider.
Gex. Oh, am I lying to you now? Sorry. Carry on with your
Yeah,
story.
so
I'm going to look that
I
up.
think the thing that they're tying to more closely to is that they make the Tomb Raider games. So
I mean, that's a good game too.
I mean, maybe they're looking for a little bit of help, the initiative, like, or they just need they need to, or Xbox has lit a fire under the
Mhm.
initiative's butt and been like, we need games,
We need you to make something.
we need some first party games and we need them now.
Yep. And yes, Crystal Dynamics was responsible for Gex for the 3DO.
Excellent.
Yes. Or Gexcellent.
Excellent.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Excellent. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, well,
What else?
speaking of Crystal Dynamics, coming this week, the Game Pass, Marvel's
Yes.
Avengers.
Yes.
So this is an excellent time. We've been crapping on this game for months now, almost a year.
Yep.
And I was the optimist trying to play it, and I gave up on it. I went and played Marvel Deadly Alliance 3 instead.
Yep.
Which I had a lot more fun with. But you know what? Here's the chance for everyone to form their own opinion about this.
So I'm just on the website here. Is it just coming to console?
Oh, I don't know. It won't be out. It's this week, so it won't be out till tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah, I don't see it on the coming soon for PC.
Oh,
Dun dun dun.
I mean, it wouldn't be. No, you know what? You know what? I thought I had an article for it. No, I'm pretty sure it's coming to PC too.
Okay, it
And
might
I
just be
read.
my app needs an update. I'm going to look it up on the phone because we have all sorts of ways of technology.
Yeah. Or you could just Google Marvel Avengers coming to Game Pass.
It's true.
But
I could click on the article you that you posted as well
yeah.
on our award-winning website.
On our award-winning Facebook page,
That's right.
Grumpy Old Gamers. Well, while you're looking at that, something else, not half video game related.
Mhm.
The Ryan Reynolds movie Free Guy, which is about a character in a video game kind of gaining consciousness,
Right. Yes. Yes.
dropped on Disney Plus today. So if you missed it in the theaters, which pretty good chance you did, because people
Just
people
aren't going to movies anymore.
people aren't going to movies anymore. And yeah, so I didn't make it to the theater to see it, and I really wanted to see it. I've heard it's actually quite good. So
I bet. Yeah, it looked really good. Avengers coming to Game Pass.
Lastly, nothing.
I mean, there's the article says it is. Everyone
Okay.
says it is, but it's just not on the app yet as the coming soon.
Oh, well, it kind of came fast and furious. Like they just announced this on Monday. Family. But
That's all I know about that series.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was just announced this week, so it might not have even have made it.
Right.
So yeah, it might not have even made it to their coming soon yet.
Right. They're just going to be like, hey, it's out today.
Pretty much.
Play
Pretty
it.
much. Well, did I skip a story? No, I forgot to make a note of it. Talking about Game Pass and Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
those good guys over there at Xbox, they sent a PS5
Ah,
to Jason Kelly, who voices the protagonist in Deathloop, so that he could play Deathloop. Because
oh,
um because it's a PS5 exclusive.
right.
It is out on PC, but
Hmm.
he took to Twitter to say that he had a lot of fun voicing him, but he can't even try the game. And Xbox came through and sent him a PS5.
Very nice. Very nice.
Also, in that same article, something that made me happy is they do. It seems like they really make a point of mentioning that it's a timed exclusive.
Yeah.
So
I was about to correct you because I'm like, Xbox sent him a PS5, but I'm like, no, you're right. Because Microsoft owns Bethesda, and
yeah,
Bethesda's got a PS5 exclusive, and cats are chasing dogs, and
yeah.
it's the world we live in right now.
which part did you think I didn't?
Oh, I just when he said Microsoft sent them a PlayStation 5,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh, he must have meant Sony, and I'm like, no, because it was Bethesda. And actually, you've got it right here already, guy. It's right there.
Do I? Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah. I did just skip over. Okay, good.
But yeah, it
Good,
was. But you then I was like, no, you're right.
good.
Microsoft sent him a PS5 because Bethesda.
Because Bethesda,
Ugh.
right?
Yeah.
So
That'd be like That'd be like Nintendo having Genesis games on there.
mhm.
Just don't know what to
Ooh.
believe anymore.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So last bit of news, because we've been going on here for a bit. Um, Netflix has so it came out a little while ago that Netflix was going to get into gaming,
Right.
and that's kind of all we heard about it.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna do it soon.
We're going to wrap games into your Netflix subscription as for extra value.
We're gonna be the Netflix of gaming.
Yeah, Netflix will be the Netflix of gaming.
Who knew it was coming, right?
So they acquired Night School Studio, which is the developer of Oxenfree 1 and 2. And also, what's that? After Party?
All right, yeah.
After
Yeah,
Party,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this seems very much on track for a Netflix type game, because these are very like minimal like action, but
Very story
um
driven.
very
Yeah.
story driven, very just like make your choice how you want the story to go, like, or
Mhm.
how you want your dialogues to happen, like very very laid out like that. So really makes sense. um just I guess more to come.
More to come.
More
Stay
to come.
tuned.
Stay tuned. um so yeah, that's all we got for news. Do you want to, we'll go into a little bit of what we've been playing.
Sure
You
thing.
want to take us on this, Rob, and give me a second to catch my voice back?
Sure thing. So, um, as Ryan mentioned, it was my birthday last week there, and also on Nintendo's birthday, and on my birthday, Diablo 2 Resurrection came out,
Yes, it did.
and I've been lost in the in the world of, yeah, ever since.
What are you playing it on?
I'm playing it on PC
Okay.
because I'm not a pleb, and oh, shots fired. No, sorry. Whatever you play it on. You know what? Diablo 3 plays very well on console. So from what I understand, they basically mapped all of it the exact same way. So I imagine it plays really well. But all the childhood memories are on PC, so that's where I'm playing it. And boy, what a good game! Like they didn't change gameplay much at all. They had a couple of quality of life improvements. The graphics, it's basically like a high definition skin over the existing models, which are still there because they do the same thing Halo remasters did, where you can switch back and forth.
Oh, cool. I like
And
that.
supposedly there are some advantages to doing that as well. Some people have kind of exploited a little bit where it's like some of the sections are a little easier if you just go down to the
interesting.
But
Okay.
yeah, but it looks absolutely amazing. Plays really well. It's got, you can choose to have the expansion characters, which is the default, or you can play just the base game. It's a switch on the thing there. They've got you can do online characters or offline characters. Boy,
did they add seasons or anything like they had in Diablo?
Not yet. Seasons and ladder trees are coming right away. They want to kind of get the base game out soon, but they will have all that.
Okay.
There have been some concerns about the online game.
Okay.
That people have been having some troubles with the servers because it got flooded. Although they have had some characters allegedly getting disappeared, like they are deleted off the servers. Nothing like that's happened to me, but evidently it's a thing. They're working on it. Because honestly, the thing with Diablo is that even though I'm not playing with other people, I made my character an online character so that I could. And if you make it on an online character, it's saved on battle.net. So if you want to pick it up on something else later, you can play. Whereas an offline character, you won't be able to do that. So
interesting.
They do give you the option for both.
Okay.
Some quality of life enhancements, like you have a shared stash. So you can share it between characters, different items you get. Whereas before you used to have to make like a third character, carry stuff to another server. Then you'd have the other character go to that server. Yeah, it was muling was something that was very horrible in Diablo 2, and thankfully they got rid of that.
Nice.
The audio is like 7.1 Dolby. Because the Diablo 2 soundtrack is pretty legendary. Everyone's heard that music. The haunting, the mandolin, whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the story is still fantastic. And they redid, I think it's like 37 minutes worth of cinematics. Like they didn't just try and put a skin on those, they actually redid them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because it looked really good back in 2001, but it's a little aged now, and now they just look amazing again. So, and they're not charging $80, which is nice.
Yeah,
it's $50. It's not too bad.
Even Canadian, like it's $49.99 Canadian.
It was 59 Canadian, was it?
Oh, okay.
Or was it 49? Stand by.
I
think it came to 57 after taxes and everything. So I think it wasn't. I don't think it was 59. I think it was
55.
Just a sec.
56.
54.99.
54.99. Huh.
Yeah. Or you can get the Primeval collection, which includes Diablo 3. If you're a Diablo fan who hasn't played that game yet, I mean, there may be some people out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good game. I'm enjoying going back in time.
Excellent.
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's about it. There's something else here, but I'm saving it for my retro pick. So
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, how about you, Ryan? What are you playing?
What have I been playing?
Yeah.
Well, besides putting a bunch more time into State of Decay 2, I'm really liking that game. Mm-hmm. It's actually turning into it's got its problems. The learning curve isn't quite 90 degrees. It's maybe dropped down to about 70 now.
Hey, there you go.
I figured out a bunch of things. There's a lot of things that they don't hold your hand on that they kind of should, I think.
Sure.
But a lot of lessons that you'll learn for the next time you play it, sort of thing.
Sure.
But I've still been playing it. I've also been putting more time into South Park: Stick of Truth.
Right.
Still making me laugh, and I'm laying in bed playing it, waking my wife up because I'm giggling like a madman to myself with pretty much.
Yep.
But for new stuff I've tried. Actually, last night I put a bunch of time with my good buddy Sean and his friends into the new Valheim update.
Oh, okay.
Which
oh, interesting.
they have Valheim on PC. They had their big Hearth and Home update at the beginning of September. I didn't even know it came out. Actually, I kind of missed it. But
really? Okay.
they added a whole bunch more crafting things and better building. Like as it says, Hearth and Home. It's like it's a real focus on building
and family
in the Hearth and Home.
In the Hearth and Home.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun. Actually, there was 4 or 5 of us on the server playing, and you just really get to see how that whole thing works. Where like I could hop off onto one of my other islands, grab a bunch of stuff, and come back to this island, no problem. Like like one of my other save games and come back. So
Cool.
they do that stuff right. I also put a little bit of time into No Man's Sky, surprise, but put a lot more time into the Frontier update, which is the update that gives you a colony to manage.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'm a little disappointed or maybe a little disappointed, because they really like said you're going to be building and managing this colony. So I just pictured them like giving me like a grid, and I can place my factory here and my restaurant here, like like a little bit of a sim game. But what it's actually more like is I don't know if do you remember me talking about a game quite a few months back called Yes, Your Grace, where you're a king and basically people come to you with problems and you're like,
yes, and it's just the whole game is you just making calls on one or the other, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then so if you decide to build, like they'll come to you and they'll say 48% of the residents want this, but 40% want this, but this will give you this will give you that. So then you decide. Stupid bug in my face.
You decide.
He just keeps flying through my eye line. It's driving me bananas.
Yeah.
So that's all it is you decide what you want built. You resolve disputes with people who live in the colony. And if you build something, then you got to provide the maps for it. So,
okay.
I mean, in a game that has a billion things to do already, this is a little more manageable. But there is that little bit of disappointment where I really wanted to just customize my own colony, sort of thing. I wanted to pick what builds to put where, and yeah. So I will continue to play it, and if anything changes, there's no doubt about that. And lastly, just before we came on, I was able to put about an hour and a half into Detroit Become Human.
Yes.
So I haven't actually tried any of their games before. I forget the name of these.
Is it David Cage? Like,
yes,
he has a bunch of these, right? Yeah. Like
Heavy
Rain.
Heavy Rain and Between Two Souls, or I think it's called. Anyways, I hadn't tried any of those. I'd really wanted to. I'd heard lots of like crazy good things about them. It's a point and click adventure.
Yeah.
Essentially. But man, oh man, is this game gorgeous. Whew.
Yeah. They're always very cinematic, aren't they?
Man, like this game came out in 2018.
Yeah, I was gonna say about 5 years ago, right? 4 years ago.
And like this came out 3 years ago, and this game is blowing away just so many things that were that are out, that came out like later on the PS4, like after it. Like, Now, Quantic Dream. Yes, that's the name of the
There you
developer.
go.
I just googled that while I was like
Mm,
stammering along there. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely put more time into this. It's intriguing. The story is slowly unfolding here for me,
mhm.
and I'm kind of figuring things out. Like I did the first level, I just kind of burned through it, and I didn't realize that you can actually like stop and like look at some other things that'll open up other branches for you to follow. What I find
Okay.
really cool is when you finish a level,
Mhm.
it shows you all the branches and all the choices you could have
Ah,
made.
yes, yes, yes. That's a big thing. Get you
And
to back into play it.
exactly. And
Mhm.
then you can hit a world button and you can see whatever like which ones were picked more, like like the percentage that each one was picked.
Mhm. Yeah.
I love stuff like that.
Oh, sure.
Like I'm just playing this game to get these stats.
Mhm.
um, but I also thought I'd mention like this was something that didn't we didn't talk about in news because it was rumor and then it kind of got quashed. But it's been reported that Quantic Dream has actually been working on a Star Wars title for 18 months,
Oh,
and people are
really?
losing their minds
Mhm.
of like a point and click adventure Star Wars game.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they came out and some people did some digging, and it was actually found that uh, they're actually hiring a bunch of people for this game because their engine is not uh, you like made to run an action game, which is what they said they're actually making.
Right. Yeah.
An
No,
action
it's
an action
all
adventure game. Yeah.
all stuff at 30 frames a second because it's all cinematic, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, uh, you know what? That game had just been sitting in my backlog forever, and
Hmm.
I just pulled the trigger. I'm like, you know what? This kind of seems like my speed right now. So, and that's what I've been up to in the last 2 weeks.
Very nice. Very nice. So continuing on with a series that Ryan and I have done in the last few weeks here, we're doing what we call a retro pick, where we bring some sort of a retro game or platform or something that
We like
that
recommend or
yeah, yeah, something that we enjoyed playing, and maybe a different way to play it now.
yeah.
And mine is a little handheld called the Blaze Evercade, which I've just picked up with some birthday money, some more of their cartridges. So anyone who doesn't know, I've talked about it a lot on the show, but let's say you're new or you just kind of drown me out and you're here for Ryan. Um,
which we know happens. Which you know a lot of
it
people are.
happens, right?
Yeah, people just come here for my silky smooth voice. But yeah.
It's I don't have the actual system down here, but I do have the box for it. So it's a handheld. My light is shining very brightly off that.
There we go.
It's a
That's good.
little handheld, and it's got the big thing about it is it's got these licensed cartridges,
Yes.
and there's 20 some of them now. A little cartridge like that. It's you actually put it in the thing. These are all licensed games and from a variety of different publishers. And this one here's the Atari Lynx collection, so it's actually a way to play on the screen uh, Atari Lynx games, and they're all officially licensed. And it's become quite a collector's thing because it's such a cool idea. You know, collectors love the fact that you get an actual case,
Mm-hmm.
and they're priced about $25 Canadian, which is not too bad. But you get an instruction manual. Which, I mean, when's the last time you bought a game that had an instruction manual in it, right? And it's got some stories of whatever it is. Like Tecmo has one. Some of the other ones there. Atari has a couple of collections. Coming in November, Intellivision's going to have a collection, which is pretty
Ooh.
cool. Yeah, and each game you've got like artwork and how to play the game, and it's pretty cool. So it's a way to kind of replay some of these games. Like I love the Atari Lynx. I was one of the ones who had it, and I remember linking up the Atari Lynx with my buddy with the link cable, and we'd be playing Gauntlet 3 and Todd's Adventure in Slime World, and just it was a lot of fun. But the Atari Lynx, like a lot of the systems back then, the handhelds, had a color screen, but it was pretty washed out. You had to hold it at a certain angle. If you got 4 hours out of the batteries, you were living the dream. Like, it was just it's hard to go back and actually play it on the system, whereas this is a way of reliving those games. And you've got Atari games, like I said, you've got and coming in November as well with the Evercade Versus, which is the console version.
Yeah,
they where so you can actually do two player and things like that. They're going to start doing arcade ports, which is something that people have been clamoring for. So they're going to have Atari arcade games. They're going to have I was just looking at this, but it's very cool because the games are cheap. They're licensed. You actually get a cartridge, and I'm just going to share the screen here on their page.
yeah. The Evercade, what, 120 Canadian for that handheld?
Yeah, and you get a couple of games with it as well.
Yeah, it's if you really like dig the retro stuff, it's really the ultimate way to play a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, so here it is right here, and you got so you got there's the arcade ones coming in November. So you got Data East. I was trying to remember the name. Data East. You got Technos and Gale. So these are the arcade games.
Oh,
and then you've got 22 collections here. I just picked up this one here, the Worms collection as well.
Nice.
Which, I mean, who doesn't love the Worms? Everyone loves Worms. Tapeworms. Yeah, you got Jalico in here. You've got variety interplays in here, so you can play some Earthworm Jim. Variety Namco museums. Yeah, they're great little things. I absolutely love it. I've got this one coming from England, Xeno Crisis and Tanglewood.
Nice.
Actually, two new game. So yeah, it is a very cool idea. It's a British company. It's Blaze. So that's why they're kind of hard to get sometimes. They have some that are getting a little more rare. So let me just share that back. And so yeah, it's a great way to kind of show the kids the games that Dad used to play when he was their age 100 years ago.
Awesome.
There we go. So Blaze Evercade.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's a great retro pick. I mean, that covers a whole lot of retro.
It does.
A whole lot of retro.
It does. And you don't have to pay an online membership.
Mm-hmm. That can go up at any time.
Anytime.
Without warning. Well, awesome retro pick there, Rob.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Anything making you grumpy this week?
Yeah, there sure is. You read the show notes. Okay. All right, I'm going to go to my happy place. I'm going to do this objectively. I'm not going to throw anything. So Nintendo, they decided I was very excited. The Switch Online, it's got the Genesis games was a huge drop. And they showed the controllers. And they showed the Nintendo 64, and everyone can make their own judgment about that. But it's a Nintendo. Everyone knows the Nintendo 64 controller. It's classic. They also showed a Genesis controller. And it turns out this is going to cost $50 in the States, which I believe is making it the most expensive one so far.
Yeah.
You can get the 2-pack of the NES controllers. I think that is a little bit more, but
yeah, that one was ended up being, it was like 89 American and 99 Canadian. Yeah.
But you got two. So so they showed the controller. I'm going to share this screen too. Because so people who are following along, they probably know exactly where this is going. All right. What do you see there?
Oh, I see a Genesis controller.
You sure do. You sure do. What you see specifically, and for those in the audio podcast, I apologize for all the screen sharing. It's the 3-button one again.
Yeah. Yeah.
For those who didn't know, the Genesis had a 3-button controller, and then they started releasing games like Street Fighter and a variety of other games that could take advantage of having 6 buttons. So they released a 6-button controller. And that's honestly like, that is the controller for Genesis. I know the 3-button one is the classic look, but it just changed with the 6-button one, right? Everything became better. So that in itself, okay, 3-button controller, screw you, Nintendo. But what they got me really mad was they did exactly what they did with the Sega Genesis Mini. So if you buy this controller in the States or Canada, you will get the 3-button one. If you buy it in Japan, it'll be the 6-button one. You want the 6-button one, you live here?
Tough.
Tough. Suck it up. And that is maddening. Absolutely maddening. It's just like, I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get it. It's $50. Throw in the 3 buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
at least give us the option, right?
yeah.
You know what? If all you really had, because I mean the 6-button was pretty late, well, much later in the Genesis life.
Yeah.
So if your nostalgia lives with the 3, buy the 3. But if you have nostalgia for the 6, let us buy the 6 too.
Yeah. It's honestly like you probably have never played Street Fighter 2 on Genesis, I would imagine.
Me?
Yeah.
At friends' houses, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you had the 3-button controller, you had to hit A, B, or C for punch, I believe, and then you hit start to change them to kick.
Yeah.
Didn't work really well. Comic Zone was a big game that took advantage of the 3 buttons as well, because now you could have like items were on the buttons, and like it was just the much better controller.
Yeah.
And it's just maddening that Nintendo again segregating the US and Japan again, and Japan gets the better controller. And that grinds my gears, Ryan.
That does. Grinds mine too.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be a lot madder if it was if I had a lot more Sega love, but I'll let you take all this anger.
It's a shame because the games they picked good choices for the launch titles. Very good. I mean,
yeah,
not much to complain about there, but maybe they'll do some Sega CD as well. That would be another thing I'd like to see.
Ooh. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's it. That's all I got.
Well, if that's all you got, I think maybe we can bring this crazy train on into the station, because we've been blabbering on for quite a while now.
We can segue into one of our world famous conclusions to
yeah.
a show.
But always go smoothly. They don't end up all over the place. Or
exactly.
For the last time, Rob, because they're going to go smoothly once episode 100 comes out.
That's right. It's the magic number.
It is.
Yep.
So, thank you everyone for hanging out with us tonight. It's been a good time as always. Please, if you want to send us an email, you can send us an email to makeusgrumpy@gmail.com with comments, questions, concerns, any of that good stuff. And if you want to check out more of our stuff, you can go to our website, thegrumpyoldgamers.com. All of our original content that we created is posted there. And but honestly, the Facebook is where most of the activity happens. So on the old Facebooks, you can search us out. But we're on YouTube as well if you just want the videos. And we're on all the major podcast platforms with our audio podcast. So, and I never said it at the beginning like I have been, but if you are doing any of those, just give us a like or subscribe, comment, any of that stuff. It helps immensely.
Mm-hmm.
And also, as I mentioned at the top of the show, we're definitely taking a week off in between episode 100, and we'll come back with an extravaganza.
I'm just as excited as you are. I did not know. This is exciting. I'm gonna wear my good shirt.
People will be disappointed, I'm sure. Just a couple cool changes that I'm working on. So we'll
Will there be lasers?
I can bring a laser.
Nice.
It'll be just like a pointer, but I'll turn the lights out and you can.
Great. A cat will be chasing it as you're filming. That's.
I'll put it on the wall behind me. You'll see the cat jumping up, like tearing my little posters down there. But yeah, all right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, and hope to see you in 2 weeks. See you then.
Have a good night.